What's going on, guys? Back at it, working on the camper. These past few days have just been pretty much a lot of research, diving in mostly into the electrical system. So right now this camper just has a pretty basic, I think it's just a lead acid battery and a couple USB ports and a couple of LED lights. But we really want to upgrade that system, make it more robust. We just ordered a fridge, so that was expensive. But we've really gotten tired of having to use coolers and ice and the melting ice ruining food and all that. So we thought it was worthwhile to bite the bullet and buy a fridge. So that should get here in a couple days. Pretty excited about that. We do intend to run that DC. So yesterday, went to the good old Home Depot, got some primer, going with a nice Kills 3. So it's their heavy duty high hide sealer and stain blocker. It's good for outdoor use, which this is essentially like an outdoor kitchen. And with having the different woods and whatnot, wanted to make sure we could hopefully get a nice uniform finish so you can't tell that that side over there that I replaced has a different underlying piece of plywood. So, got the primer. Today, it's a pretty nice day out. It's supposed to get up into the 60s. It is a little bit cooler in here in the garage, so I just had my propane heater running, heating up this area. Supposed to apply this over 50 degrees temperature, so once I get it applied, I'll probably kick the heater back on low just for a little bit to help keep it warm. But like I said, it's supposed to get pretty warm out today, considering it's February. And got a bunch of paint samples. Mary and I haven't gone through them yet, but we're obviously thinking something in the gray family. So we're gonna go through all these, see what we think will look good back here. And then on our next nice day, we'll actually get the paint laid down. I've already taped off around our stainless countertop to minimize hopefully any paint getting on there. If it does, it'll clean off pretty easily. So I'm gonna cut in first in all the areas, all the corners, and then I've just got a 4-inch roller that we're gonna apply the rest. So let's get to it. And for those of you wondering, I did go ahead and twice I cleaned and prepped the surface, so it should be completely dust free. So we should get some nice adhesion with our primer. As anybody who's done paint work knows, prep work is 90%. Going with, I know that color. It's a gray. Surprise, surprise. And since I was at the store, And I really didn't care for that brush I was using last time. I wanted to pick up a little brush. Hopefully that should be a little bit nicer for doing the cut in. Ain't nothing to it but to do it. This sweet goodness. Bada bing, bada boom. We have a painted Galley. Painted Galley. Still drying, so you can still see some of the cut-in area there. Obviously still drying down here because I just finished painting it, but I think my next step is to get the skin put back on. That little guy hiding right over there. Alright, that gives us a perfect alignment here in the back, all the way around, because I did a phenomenal job with that wood. And then up front, this is pretty much how it was originally. There is a little bit of a gap, and all the trim overlaps that. And then we'll seal that bad boy up. Like it do love. But I'm gonna have to get a little something figured out though, so You'll notice when I was checking out the dimensions, I knew it was going to be, the fridge was going to be a little too deep for my tray. But I also knew that the bottom edge of the fridge was sort of beveled, so I was hoping it would fit within here. So we are not actually sitting down flat on the bottom of the tray. It's sitting on these little lips here. Now think about this. I'm either going to create some little spacers to sit under the fridge so that this is just the height that it sits at. I'm gonna say I might try like notching this out a little bit, but I don't really know that I want to start cutting on this tray because it's a nice tray. So I think the likely answer is just going to be some spacers under there so it's got a nice solid platform to sit on. And then we'll end up tying it down to these tie points via the handles. We are back in business. I'm still really struggling on this top one, trying to figure out a solution for our camp stove. It fits perfectly in this drawer, but it's run on those little 1-pound propane tanks. And I'm going to end up mounting a 10-pound tank here and plumb it in, ideally. But with that style, it has this arm that sticks off and back for the propane tank, so it's going to get in the way of the fridge. But I've done a ton of searching, and there's really not a good way to hard mount, or hard plumb, I guess, the propane to that type of Coleman stove. So I've been looking for like drop-in stove options, of which they're very limited, and the only ones that I can find are pretty small, and I really don't want to go any smaller than that for when we're using 2 pans or skillets or whatever. The only ones I'm finding have like a 8-inch burner and then like a 6-inch burner, and they're close together, and that seems like that's going to be a pain. So if you have any recommendations on a good stove, I'm not talking like a $500 stove because we don't have that kind of money, but a decent stove that we can hard plumb into our propane tank that we can fit in here. You know, I can build the top to this and have it be like a sit-in, whatever the solution might be. But I'm just struggling coming up with a solution. Gonna go ahead and get the door reinstalled. Trying to save you guys a bunch of boring footage, so spent many hours getting all of the old butyl tape and sealant off of the exterior door frame, as well as so far the entire perimeter on the right hand side. Got all the sealants off, wiped down with acetone so it's nice and prepped and ready for sealing. We're not there yet, but trying to get a bunch of that boring work out of the way. For now, we've got the interior door frame, so we're going to go ahead and get that installed. I'll bring you around and we'll get the outside installed. And the mattress. Should just pop into place here. I'm not quite sure why they installed these levels on the inside. And whenever you're getting set up for camping and whatnot, having them on the outside, I would think would be a nicer solution. So I may end up moving those, because the other one was actually back in the galley. Seems a little odd. Doesn't really want to make that curve. I wonder if I need to go ahead and remove it from the backer, because I think the tape itself is preventing it from wanting to make that curve. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. Guess we can try, huh? There we go. Not saying it's the right way, but it's working. All right, we have one hiccup. The door opening, the frame opening, the cutout is quite a bit larger than the door itself. And I'm trying to obviously get lined back up with the original mounting holes. So one quick idea I had was to puncture through the holes on the inner frame here with a couple nails. One of the issues is this tape is so sticky that if you just get close to it, it wants to just suck right on. So I'm thinking if I can run a couple of these nails through to where they protrude out far enough, that'll allow me to get 4 of them lined up, and then we should be pretty close. I have no idea if it's gonna work, but we're gonna try it. Three. All right, again, disclaimer. I have no idea if this is gonna work, but we're gonna try it. You know what? It ain't done that it works. Pretty proud of that little nail trick. That worked like a charm. So next step, I think I want to go ahead and get the passenger side pretty much match the driver's side trim wise. So what that means is getting this top piece of trim installed, getting the bottom piece of trim installed, and then following that, I think we're going to get the outer and inner trim pieces installed on both the left and the right side. And then we can work on the hatch, which is going to not only include reattaching it, but also trying to diagnose what went wrong initially. We've done the repair, which is great and all, but we need to make sure it doesn't get water in this again. So what that looks like, I don't really know yet. I'm kind of stalling here, but there's sort of an order of operations here for the way things need to go back together. One thing that I also didn't show was this piece, which ran along here on the underside, and that's going to end up going under trim, but went ahead and made a new one of these, got that installed, easy peasy lemon squeezy. Also, you're probably going to see me in different clothes for pretty much each piece of trim that we reattach, because it takes so damn long to get all of the butyl tape removed and cleaned up, and it still is far from perfectly clean. I'll show you what we're dealing with here. So this is the long piece of trim, but you can see I got most of it removed, and it took me about 2.5 hours for this one piece, at least, if not longer. Yeah, probably like 3.5. But I've got it all cleaned up, cleaned with acetone. So I think we should be good with attaching or with installing the new butyl tape on here, throwing it on there and buzzing her down. Let's get to it. Well, as always, guys, I really appreciate you watching. If you feel so inclined, hit that subscribe button. I'm gonna leave you guys. Catch you later.